Hello everybody and welcome back. In this video, we will discuss listening to the serial input using the serial monitor on our Raspberry Pi Pico. So essentially what we are trying to do here is we will ask the user to enter a number from the keyboard, and that will be one of the LED numbers that we have here. And depending on the number that the user has entered, we have to turn on that particular LED. So for example, if we number our LEDs as 1, 2, 3, and 4, and if the user enters 1 on the keyboard, then the first LED should turn on. And if he enters 2, then the second should turn on. And if he enters 3, the third. And if he enters 4, then the fourth one should turn on. So in order to achieve this, we will need to be able to communicate to the Raspberry Pi Pico through the keyboard of our laptop or computer. And depending upon the input that it received, it should be able to understand what is the input that was given, and it should be able to turn on the particular LEDs. In order to achieve this, we have something known as serial communication, which is supported on the RP2040 microcontroller. Now, what is serial communication? Serial communication is achieved using something called UART, U-A-R-T, which stands for Universal Asynchronous Receiver Transmitter. Now this is something that allows us to communicate to the RP2040 via the USB interface. Now if you are doing this on the hardware, you will be connecting your Raspberry Pi Pico using a USB cable via this USB port to your laptop. And the communication between your laptop and this Raspberry Pi Pico is enabled, or it is achieved using the UART via the serial communication. So we will see how that is achieved here. Now, before we go to the actual experiment, I will show you how to initialize the serial port and how the serial monitor looks like on the Wokwi simulator. I have written a very simple code here, and we don't need to actually make these connections in order to make this particular code run. This connection is for the main experiment, which we will be doing in a while. So look at the setup function here first. In the setup function, I write serial1.begin 9600. Now this is how you initialize the serial port on the Wokwi. Now notice that I've used the keyword serial1. Now if you are doing it on the hardware, you should not use this number 1 over here. You should just write serial.begin. Now this 1 is specific only to Wokwi. If you are doing this on the hardware, on the Arduino IDE or something like that, you will just write serial and not 1. So keep that in mind. 1 is specific only to Wokwi. Now serial1.begin, and this value that is given in parentheses is known as the baud rate. Now what is a baud rate? Baud rate is the number of signal or symbol changes that occurs per second in a communication channel. Now this is critical because, as I already told you, the serial communication here happens via something called UART, which is an asynchronous type of communication where there is no clock involved. So it is critical to give a baud rate like this. So here, using this line, we have initialized the serial port, which we will be making use in this experiment. Alright, now coming to the loop function, I write serial1.println hello Raspberry Pi Pico. Now this is used for printing something on the serial monitor. So again, keep in mind this 1 is specific only to Wokwi. If you're doing it on the hardware, you'll be writing serial.println, and within quotations we write whatever we want to print. So hello Raspberry Pi Pico is what we are trying to print over here. Okay, and let's also give a delay here of 1000 milliseconds so that after every 1 second this line would be printed. And if you want to print it on a new line, we write print ln. So ln will ensure that it is printed on a new line. If you simply give print, then it will keep printing on the same line. Okay, let me run this code and see how this works. So you see that the serial monitor has shown up here. This is known as the serial monitor. And here, hello Raspberry Pi Pico, which was the line that we were printing, is printed on a new line after every 1 second. So we see that the serial monitor is working as expected. And here you see there is a space where you can give input to the serial monitor. So in the experiment that we are going to do, we are going to make use of this space that is given here for giving the input. Alright, now I'll stop this and let us come to the main experiment. So in the main experiment, what we want to do is the user should enter some input here, like for example, let's say 1, and when he enters 1, the first LED should turn on, and depending upon whatever he enters, the particular LED should turn on. So let's write the code for that and see if it is working as expected. Alright, so here I have written the code for our experiment. Now before looking at the code, let me just show you the connections that we have made here. So basically it is the same kind of connections that we have used in our previous experiments, where we have connected 4 LEDs, and via resistors they are connected to the ground, and the anode of the LEDs are connected to some GP pins. So here I have used GP pins 2, 3, 4 and 5. So the LEDs are connected to pin numbers 2, 3, 4 and 5. And also remember that for the serial communication to happen, this GP0 and GP1, they are used as the transmission and reception lines for the serial communication. So if you are making use of serial monitor in your experiments, it is a good practice not to make use of GP0 and GP1 for your LED connections or some other connections. Now we have the connections ready. Now let's look at the code and see how it works. Okay, now coming to the code, like how we have always done, we have declared an array and we have initialized it with the values of the pin numbers of the LEDs. So 2, 3, 4, 5, because 2, 3, 4, 5 are the pins to which our LEDs are connected. And again, const int LED equal to 4, we have declared a constant integer called LED, which represents a number of LEDs which we have, which is equal to 4. And this array is also a constant integer type, remember. And in the setup function, here I am initializing the serial port by saying serial1.begin, and this is the baud rate 9600. So there are different baud rates that will be supported by the RP2040. You can look at the documentation to learn more about it. So 9600 is one standard baud rate that we will be using. Okay, and here I want to just print a line saying hello Raspberry Pi Pico. So I'm using the serial 1.println. And here we are using the for loop in order to initialize all our LEDs as output. So this is again similar to what we have done in the previous experiments. So we run a loop from I equal to 0 and I less than LED, which is 4. So it will run from 0, 1, 2 up to 3. And we are saying pin mode LED of I output. So each of the LEDs will be set as output. LEDs of I means it is the array that we are referring to. So LEDs of I in the first iteration would mean LEDs of 0, which means the first LED, which is 2. That means the LED connected to 2 will be set as an output. And similarly, all of them would be set as output device once this loop completes. Okay, now coming to the loop function that we have, the void loop function. Now in the void loop function, we are having an if condition that says if serial1.available is greater than 0. Now, what does this mean? Now, this serial available is a function that checks if there is any serial data incoming for reading. That means whenever there is something that is being communicated via the serial port, when a data is given, then the data will be stored in an input buffer. And the serial available function would check if there is anything available in that buffer to be read. So here we are checking if there is something to be read. So if the user has entered something from the keyboard, then there will be something available on the buffer and the serial available function would return true. So if it is greater than 0, that's what it means. If it is true, then we say that int user input equal to serial1.parseInt. Now what this line does is that we are declaring an integer called user input, and here we have another function called parseInt. Now parseInt is another function that is going to read any valid integer that comes in from the serial port or from the serial monitor. So when the user enters something, so the serial1.parseInt function will take that, it will read that integer, and that integer we store it to this user input variable which we have declared here. Alright, now whatever the user has entered is stored in this user input. Now next, we are having an if condition here that says if user input is greater than or equal to 1 and user input is less than or equal to LED. Now what this does is it is a condition that checks if the input that is entered by the user is a valid input or not. So what are valid inputs here? The valid inputs should be only 1, 2, 3 and 4 because those are the LED numbers that we have. So the input should be greater than or equal to 1 and it should be less than or equal to LED. Now what is LED? LED is the number of LEDs that we have declared here, which is equal to 4. So it should be between 1 and 4. Alright, so if it is a valid input, then we come to the next line where we have another for loop which runs from I equal to 0 to less than LEDs. That means it will run from 0, 1, 2 up to 3. And here we are saying digital write LEDs of I low. That means initially we want to set all the LEDs to low. So we are setting all the LEDs to low. LEDs is the array, remember. So LEDs of I would represent each of the LEDs that we have defined in our array. So all the LEDs are set to low. So all of them are off right now. Now here in the next line, we want to turn on that particular LED which the user has entered. So we say digital write LEDs, which is the array, user input minus 1. Now what is user input? User input is the input that the user has entered. So assuming that it is a valid input, we subtract 1 from it. Why? Because in array, the indexing always starts from 0. So suppose the user has entered 4. So he wants to turn on the 4th LED. But in our array, this index is actually 3. It starts from 0. So it is 0, 1, 2, 3. So that is why we are subtracting 1 here. So user input minus 1, that particular LED would be turned on. So it is set to high. Alright, and then we are just printing user input and on. That means I am just using the print statement to print what is the number that the user has entered, which is the user input, and I'm just printing this string on. Actually, these two lines are optional. Even if you don't write, it's fine. It is just to show it up on the serial monitor. Okay, so we see that this is in the loop function. So once the user has entered an input, that particular LED will turn on, and then this loop would run again. So after that, what will happen? Again, the user will be able to enter some input. And when the user enters the input, what will happen? It will check if it is a valid input. And if it is a valid input, then it will come to this for loop and turn all the LEDs to low. That means it will turn off everything. Now this is crucial because initially in the first iteration of this entire loop function, we saw that the user has entered a particular number and that particular LED was turned on. Now in the second iteration of this loop, before we turn on the next LED that the user has entered, we have to make sure that all the others are off and only that particular LED is on. So that is why this for loop is also very crucial. And then we again turn on whatever the user has entered and this loop would continue. So as long as the user is supplying some valid input, the particular LED would turn on. Okay, so let's run the program and see if it is working as expected. So let's start the simulation here. Alright, so we have our serial monitor that has come up here, as you can see. Let me just minimize it a bit. Okay, and here it says hello Raspberry Pi, which is the serial.println that we have written here. And now we will enter some input here. So let me say 1. As I enter 1 and press enter, you can see that the first LED turns on. Now let me enter 2. Now you see that 2 has turned on and the others all are off. And whatever I'm entering here and this ON string is also printed along with it on the serial monitor. So let me enter 3 and see. Now you see the third one turns on and the other one goes off. And if I enter 4, we can see that the fourth one turns on and all the others are off. Okay, and if I enter some invalid input, let's say 7, because we don't have LED number 7, you see that nothing happens. Okay, so this is how we are able to communicate to the Raspberry Pi Pico or the RP2040 microcontroller using the serial monitor. And very important thing, let me repeat again, serial 1 is specific to Wokwi. If you are using or if you are doing this on the hardware, please don't write this 1. You can write only serial. Okay, so I hope this lecture about how to communicate to RP2040 or the Raspberry Pi Pico via the serial monitor is clear to you. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.